Have you ever shared something deeply personal with your family, only to wish you had kept it to yourself? It's a feeling that many of us have experienced. As we grow older, we come to realize that some things are better left unsaid. But why is that? In this video, we will explore 5 powerful secrets about what not to share with your family, and why keeping certain things private can strengthen your relationships, protect your peace of mind, and enhance your mental health. Stay with me until the end and you'll discover how a little silence can foster greater respect, deeper connections, and personal tranquility. We'll delve into the wisdom behind keeping your past mistakes, minor health concerns, unfulfilled dreams, family disappointments, and even future plans to yourself. By practicing selective sharing, you can transform how your loved ones perceive you while preserving your dignity and independence. If you're looking to build a life rooted in peace and mutual respect, you won't want to miss these insights. Stick around to learn how choosing silence in certain areas can guide your family in the best possible way, without the risk of misinterpretation or unnecessary worry. Let's get started. If you're not subscribed, I recommend doing so and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this content, you can help me continue spreading these valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If the topic resonates with you, please comment 1 below. If not, comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and create better videos for you. Now let's dive into Secret 1. Secret 1. Past major mistakes. As time passes, the experiences of life, both the highs and the lows, transform us, shaping the individuals we become. Especially as we age, there is a natural pull to share the journey we've walked with those we love. We long to pass down the joy we've known, the pain we've endured, and the lessons we've learned along the way. It feels right to guide our family, offering them the gift of our wisdom so they might navigate their own lives with greater ease. Yet sometimes, especially when it comes to our past mistakes, we may find that choosing silence speaks louder than words. This is not about withholding the truth or creating distance, it is about preserving a sacred balance, a quiet peace within ourselves and in our relationships. Consider the story of Mr. Lawrence, a retired craftsman with a lifetime of knowledge and countless stories to share. Years ago, in a time of ambition and trust, he entered a business venture with a partner he believed to be reliable. Unfortunately, he would later discover that his partner was far from honorable. Mr. Lawrence suffered a devastating financial loss that nearly shattered him. For years he worked tirelessly to rebuild his life, piecing together what remained while holding on to hope. Despite the setback, he bore the pain of that betrayal in silence, choosing to keep it to himself as he quietly mended his life. One day, as his granddaughter grew older, he decided she might benefit from his experiences. He thought that by sharing this painful chapter, she could learn from his mistakes and make wiser decisions in the future. As he recounted the story, he watched her intently, hoping to see understanding, but what he saw instead unsettled him. Her face revealed deep concern, even pity. That brief, unintended expression stirred emotions in him that he had not anticipated. It left him feeling exposed, vulnerable, as if the wound of that mistake had been reopened. He realized in that moment that his granddaughter now saw him differently. That brief flicker of pity had changed the way she viewed him. The admiration she once had for him as a figure of strength and wisdom was subtly overshadowed by the vulnerability he had revealed. It left him questioning whether he should have kept that story locked away in his heart. From this experience, Mr. Lawrence came to a profound understanding. Not every scar needs to be displayed, not every wound should be shared, and not every mistake needs to become a lesson for others. Our loved ones, especially the younger generation, often look to us as pillars of wisdom, resilience, and strength. They view us through a lens of admiration. When we share certain painful memories, particularly those that reveal our vulnerabilities, it can alter that lens in ways we didn't foresee. While they may walk away with the lesson we intended, they may also come to see us in a different light, one that reflects more of our regrets than our resilience. If you are still watching and find these lessons valuable, please comment 1 below to let me know you're still with me. In the gentle act of holding on to certain memories, we preserve them as private reminders of our journey, markers of our growth and the strength we've gained along the way. We don't need to share every misstep or flaw for our family to benefit from our wisdom. Often, a few carefully chosen words, such as "I learned about trust the hard way," can offer guidance without reopening old wounds or exposing the scars we've worked so hard to heal. The decision to remain silent about certain aspects of our past is not about secrecy, It's an act of grace, self-protection, and, in a way, love. It allows us to guide our family from a place of strength, rather than from a place of regret. There is something profoundly liberating in recognizing which stories to share and which to keep close. By keeping certain experiences private, we shield ourselves from misunderstanding, unintentional hurt, and the risk of being seen as something less than we are today. It allows us to exist fully in the present, enabling our loved ones to see us not as a collection of past mistakes, but as resilient beings who have emerged stronger through the trials we've faced. This choice allows us to remain role models of endurance and wisdom, individuals who continue to grow, evolve, and find peace despite life's twists and turns. In choosing silence over sharing, we honor our past mistakes in a way that preserves our self-worth and dignity. We don't need external validation to affirm our growth. Instead, we allow these silent experiences to transform into private wells of strength, sources of quiet reflection that gently shape how we support and advise those we care about. In doing so, we guide our family with an unspoken wisdom that speaks not of our failures, but of the enduring strength we've gained. These untold stories remind us of life's harshest lessons, yet they become powerful tools for quietly guiding those we love through life's inevitable challenges. In a world that encourages openness, where there's pressure to share every thought, triumph, and sorrow, there is a quiet elegance in keeping certain chapters of our lives private. These untold stories become precious reflections, invisible threads that fortify us, even as they remain unknown to others. Through this gentle discretion, we gain a depth of peace and inner strength that our family can sense, an unshakable calm that they come to respect. They may not know every detail, but they feel the wisdom and resilience that radiate from us. So remember, not every story must be told. By mindfully choosing what to reveal and what to keep close, we preserve a sacred peace and nurture the respect of those around us. This quiet strength, born of unshared struggles, becomes a form of wisdom, a testament to our resilience that speaks without words. In doing so, we provide our family with a model of grace, resilience, and wisdom, a legacy defined not by our regrets, but by the strength we gain through them. This quiet presence teaches them, more powerfully than words could ever do, about patience, understanding, and the art of holding on to one's peace amidst life's turbulence. In the end, we become examples of what it means to live with courage and embrace life fully, unburdened by the weight of past mistakes. By allowing some stories to remain unwritten, we allow our legacy to be one of peace, wisdom, and enduring love, a silent beacon that guides our family through life with strength and grace. Secret 2: Minor health concerns. As the years pass and life seasons unfold, we become more attuned to the subtle whispers of our bodies. These small, sometimes nagging signs remind us that we're not as young as we once were. Perhaps it's the dull ache in our knees after a walk, the stiffness that lingers a little longer in our back each morning, or the occasional sleepless night that leaves us tired but determined to face the day. These sensations, though bothersome, become part of our daily existence. However, as natural as it may feel to share these aches with our family, we may not always consider the impact it has on them, especially on those who care for us most. Family, after all, holds us dear. They want to know that we're okay, that we're safe and healthy, and that we're enjoying life. Yet when they hear about every new ache or restless night, their hearts are naturally filled with concern. Instead of feeling reassured, they often feel helpless, unable to ease the discomfort we've shared. While our intention in sharing these small pains may be to seek comfort, it can lead to a pattern where our loved ones begin to view us as fragile. Choosing to keep minor health concerns to ourselves can sometimes be a quiet act of love, a way to protect the happiness we share and allow our family to focus on our strength rather than our vulnerability. Consider the story of Mrs. Eleanor, a retired schoolteacher whose heart is as wise as the years she spent nurturing young minds. Now in her 70s, Eleanor's days are filled with the joys of reading, gardening, and occasional visits from her grandchildren. But as with anyone in their golden years, she also feels the small aches and reminders of a life richly lived. One day, over tea with her daughter, Eleanor casually mentioned the stiffness in her knees. In an instant, her daughter's nurturing instincts were in full force. With genuine care, she began researching remedies, exploring everything from herbal supplements to knee braces, and even specialized diets that might help ease the pain. Though Eleanor's daughter only wanted to help, Eleanor soon began to feel a familiar discomfort. the sensation of being treated as a patient rather than the resilient woman she still saw herself to be. Over the following days, Eleanor noticed that even brief mentions of her discomfort prompted a wave of responses from her family. Every ache she mentioned was met with solutions, appointments, and concern, well-meaning but overwhelming. Eleanor began to realize that each small pain she shared created an atmosphere of worry around her. Her family, with the best of intentions, had started treating her with caution, seeing her as fragile rather than the capable, spirited woman she had always been. It was then that she made a quiet decision. She would keep her minor health concerns to herself. Instead of focusing on her discomfort, Eleanor chose to share the highlights of her day, the moments that brought her joy and pride. Rather than mentioning her sore knees, she'd tell her family about the flowers she'd planted in her garden, or the book that had captivated her attention. Instead of discussing her occasional backache, she'd talk about her walk through the neighborhood, how the crisp air invigorated her, or how her neighbor had waved from across the street. This subtle shift had a profound effect. Her family, once so concerned about every small ache, began to see Eleanor in a new light. They stopped viewing her as a collection of health concerns, and began to see her as the strong, inspiring woman she truly was, a woman with passions, stories, and a resilience that age could not diminish. For Eleanor, this change was not just about sparing her family from worry, it was a way to reclaim her sense of self, independent, confident, and free to enjoy life without the shadow of unnecessary concern. Her family too felt a new lightness. In the presence of her loved ones, Eleanor discovered the true power of focusing on shared laughter, meaningful conversation, and the simple joys that life has to offer. She came to understand a profound truth. Sometimes, there is wisdom in sharing only what is truly important. By choosing not to turn every ache or discomfort into a topic of conversation, Eleanor allowed her family to witness her strength, endurance, and grace. This didn't mean ignoring her health or pretending that aging was without its challenges. We all deserve to feel heard and supported when health issues truly affect our lives. However, by being selective in what we share, we have the chance to shape our story in a way that uplifts rather than burdens. Life is full of small discomforts, aches, minor colds, the occasional sleepless night, and often these are things we can handle ourselves without involving our loved ones in a circle of worry. When we focus on the positive aspects of our lives instead, we create an environment where both we and our loved ones can enjoy each other's company in peace and happiness. Imagine how your conversations might change. Instead of mentioning a sore back, talk about the inspiring conversation you had with a friend. Rather than sharing a night spent tossing and turning, speak about the beautiful sunrise you witnessed, or the excitement of an upcoming family gathering. By shifting the focus, we create a warm, joyful atmosphere, where the beauty of life takes center stage. This not only reminds others, but also ourselves, that we are more than our aches and pains. In time, like Eleanor, you may find that keeping these minor health details private becomes a gift. Your loved ones will begin to see you not as someone in need of constant care, but as someone full of strength, capable of navigating life with grace. When true health challenges arise, they will be better equipped to understand the gravity of the situation, knowing you only share what truly matters. This approach is not about denying the reality of aging, but rather reframing it. By choosing to show that each day is a gift to be lived fully, you demonstrate that joy can be found in the smallest moments. Ultimately, the decision of what to share with others becomes a way of shaping our legacy. By focusing on our resilience and the positive experiences we treasure, we leave behind memories of strength and happiness. As we walk through life, let's remember that we can fill our days with love, laughter, and hope, creating an example that will linger in the hearts of those we cherish. Let your family and friends remember you as the person who, despite life's challenges, always found a way to smile, encourage, and celebrate each precious moment. This, more than anything, is the gift they will hold close, honoring the love, wisdom, and quiet strength you chose to share. Secret 3. Unfulfilled dreams. As we grow older, each of us carries within a handful of dreams, those cherished hopes and wishes that, for one reason or another, never quite blossomed. These dreams often lie quietly in our hearts, waiting for moments of reflection. They are fragments of the lives we once imagined, perhaps as vivid as embarking on a career that spoke to our soul, traveling to faraway places, or creating something meaningful that would last beyond us. While these dreams hold undeniable beauty, They can bring a mix of pride and wistfulness, especially when shared with loved ones who may not fully understand the depth of what these dreams represent. Take Mr. James, for example, a retired mechanic who had always dreamed of being a musician. In his youth, he worked tirelessly, saving every hard-earned penny to buy his first guitar. His passion for music was fierce. He would lose himself for hours strumming the strings, feeling music fill him with a sense of purpose. Yet life, as it often does, had other plans. His path veered, leading him to marriage, fatherhood, and a steady, secure career that supported his family. For 4 decades, Mr. James poured his energy into his role, becoming a source of strength and stability. But his love for music, the dream that had once set his soul on fire, never entirely faded. Now in his 70s, he finds himself yearning for that lost part of himself, reminiscing on what could have been and wondering how life might have looked had he followed that dream. One day, in a moment of vulnerability and hope, Mr. James decides to share his unfulfilled dream with his teenage grandson, who looks up to him with admiration. He tells him about the passion he once had for music, the guitar he saved for, and the nights spent learning chords by candlelight. His grandson listens attentively, but is caught off guard, struggling to see his grandpa in this new light. To him, Mr. James has always been a fulfilled man, someone who had given his all to his family and career. Hearing about this unachieved dream brings a confusing mix of sadness and guilt to the grandson, as though he might somehow be part of the reason his grandfather's dream went unfulfilled. He tries to be supportive, but can't fully connect with the regret or longing in Mr. James's story. Mr. James can sense the hesitation and uncertainty in his grandson's reaction, and he realizes that sharing this dream has brought an unexpected distance between them. After some reflection, Mr. James begins to see his dream from a new perspective. It's not that he regrets the life he chose. In fact, it's the life he built with his family, the laughter he shared, and the friendships he nurtured that give him the deepest satisfaction. Slowly, he understands that while the dream of being a musician still holds a special place in his heart, it is not the defining element of his story. Rather, it is a chapter, a quiet, wistful chapter in a much larger narrative filled with love, sacrifice, and memories. He decides that perhaps some dreams are best kept close, private reminders of who we once were or who we could have been. These silent dreams become part of the inner landscape that shapes us, but need not be shared with everyone, especially those who might view them through a lens of sadness or pity. By keeping these dreams to himself, Mr. James creates a space of peace for both himself and his family. He understands that his grandson, and perhaps others, may not fully grasp the significance of these dreams, and that sharing them might unintentionally cause sadness or even guilt, something he never intended. He realizes that these dreams still hold value, not in what they could have become, but in how they shaped the man he is today. They taught him resilience, patience, and the art of balancing hope with duty. By keeping them private, he is able to savor them without letting them overshadow the life he lived, a life full of love, laughter, and purpose. Now, Mr. James shares stories of his work as a mechanic with his grandson, of the joy and pride he felt in mastering his craft. He speaks of the dedication, the quiet discipline, and the satisfaction of creating something with his hands. His family hears in these stories the same passion and patience that music once inspired, realizing that his love for craftsmanship, whether through a guitar or an engine, is part of what makes him who he is. Through these tales, his grandson sees the strength in his grandfather's journey, understanding that sometimes our passions take forms we don't expect, and that fulfillment doesn't always look the way we imagine. These unspoken dreams become a quiet beauty in Mr. James's life, small reminders that while he didn't become the musician he once dreamed of, he found meaning in other ways. By holding some dreams close, he can honor their presence without letting them overshadow the legacy of love, wisdom, and resilience he has built. For Mr. James, these silent dreams are a form of inner strength, a testament to the journey he took, the sacrifices he made, and the richness of the life he embraced. His family, seeing his gratitude for the present, comes to respect him even more, witnessing the grace with which he has accepted both the fulfilled and unfulfilled parts of his story. In this quiet, inward acceptance, Mr. James inspires his family to follow their own paths, showing them that life's beauty often lies in the unexpected turns, in the memories we create, and in the love we share. He teaches them that not every dream needs to be achieved to be cherished. Some dreams can remain personal treasures, symbols of resilience that add depth to our lives without causing pain or confusion to those who cannot fully understand. So, as you reflect on your own unfulfilled dreams, remember that they too are part of your story. A beautiful personal reminder of the journey you took and the person you became along the way. Embrace these dreams as your quiet treasures, symbols of the life you lived and the love you gave. In doing so, you inspire those around you to embrace their own dreams, knowing that fulfillment often lies not in the dream itself, but in the courage, wisdom, and joy we gather along the way. In this acceptance, you leave behind a legacy of peace, resilience, and unconditional love that will remain with your family long after the dream itself has faded into memory. Secret 4 Family Disappointments. As we journey through life, our love for family becomes a profound source of strength, hope, and sometimes unspoken expectations. When we look at our children, siblings, or even extended family, we carry dreams for them as carefully as we carry our own. These dreams are woven from our values, shaped by our experiences, and sometimes molded by hopes for a brighter, more stable life than we may have known. It's natural to wish that our loved ones would make choices that align with what we feel would bring them security, happiness, and fulfillment. But as the years pass, we realize that life has its own plans, and each person must follow a path that is uniquely their own. In these moments, when their choices diverge from the ideals we hold, we may feel a quiet pang of disappointment or dissatisfaction, a mixture of worry and love that can be difficult to reconcile. These feelings are part of human nature, especially as we reach a stage in life where our perspectives deepen, and we long to pass on our hard-earned wisdom. However, expressing disappointment over a family member's decisions can often create unintended tension, even when our advice is well-meaning. When we share our opinions too directly, we risk casting a shadow on their dreams, making them feel as though they're not fully accepted. Over time, these small disappointments can accumulate, creating a divide where once there was closeness. That's why, as painful as it can be, choosing silence over spoken criticism becomes a powerful act of love. It's a choice to honor their individuality, to quietly support their journey without imposing our fears, and to create a space where they feel accepted and loved just as they are. Consider the story of Mrs. Amelia, a retired librarian who dedicated her life to books, knowledge, and the steady, predictable rhythm of a stable career. She raised her children with a similar appreciation for structure, encouraging them to pursue paths that would lead to security and lifelong stability. Her daughter, however, had a different vision. She dreamed of starting her own business, a venture that ignited her passion and gave her a sense of purpose, but one that also came with significant financial risks and an unpredictable future. Mrs. Amelia couldn't help but feel anxious. Every sleepless night brought images of her daughter facing potential setbacks or financial struggles, and it pained her to think of her facing such hardships. In her heart, she wished her daughter had chosen a career that offered stability, something that would safeguard her from the uncertainties of entrepreneurship. Eventually, Mrs. Amelia decided to speak up, hoping to share her concerns in a way that felt supportive rather than judgmental. She gently suggested that her daughter consider a more stable job, believing that a traditional path might bring her peace of mind and long-term security. Her words came from a place of love, yet to her daughter, they felt like doubt. It stung to think that her mother didn't fully believe in her dream or trust her ability to succeed on her own terms. Mrs. Amelia could sense the hurt her words had caused, leaving her with a pang of regret. In trying to protect her daughter, she had unknowingly cast a shadow over her ambitions. Reflecting on this, Mrs. Amelia decided to embrace a new approach, one of quiet support. She chose to love without expectation and to encourage without critique. As she stepped back and allowed her daughter the freedom to navigate her journey, Mrs. Amelia noticed a change in their relationship. Conversations became more open, and her daughter began sharing both the triumphs and challenges of her entrepreneurial journey. Mrs. Amelia found herself listening with a heart full of love, admiring her daughter's resilience, determination, and courage. Her silent support became a powerful reassurance, a steady presence, always there to celebrate victories and offer comfort during setbacks. In time, Mrs. Amelia discovered a deep joy in simply being there for her daughter, in witnessing her growth and strength unfold without interference. Her quiet support allowed their bond to flourish in a way she hadn't expected, teaching her that sometimes love means stepping back rather than stepping in. The choice to silently support a family member's path, rather than openly expressing disappointment, is an act of patience, humility, and profound respect. Family dynamics are built on a delicate balance of love, trust, and understanding, and even the smallest criticism can feel like a heavy weight to those we care for. When we voice our disappointments, however gently, it can leave our loved ones feeling as though they've let us down or aren't living up to our expectations. Over time, these feelings can create a sense of distance, a subtle but significant rift that can make them hesitant to share their dreams, fears, or failures with us. By choosing to withhold criticism and instead offer silent support, we show them that we trust their journey, that we have faith in their strength, and that our love for them is unwavering, regardless of the path they choose. Holding back our opinions doesn't mean we don't care or that we're ignoring our values. It's a choice to place their happiness and sense of freedom above our expectations. Mrs. Amelia's journey is a reminder that often, the feelings of disappointment we experience stem from our own beliefs shaped by the values and experiences that have defined us. By recognizing this, we can separate our hopes from their aspirations, allowing them to grow in ways that reflect their unique identities. Through this approach, our quiet encouragement becomes a gift of unconditional love, providing them with a haven where they can be themselves without fear of judgment. Family members may not remember every piece of advice we offer, every well-intentioned suggestion, or each attempt at guidance, but they will remember the feeling of being loved, supported, and accepted for who they are. By choosing silence over critique, we leave behind a legacy of understanding and respect that goes beyond words. This silent encouragement, this steadfast support, speaks louder than any advice or opinion could ever convey. It offers them a foundation of confidence, a sense of freedom to explore their potential, and lasting assurance that they are loved unconditionally. So, the next time you feel a pang of disappointment or worry over a loved one's choices, take a moment to pause and reflect. Consider whether these feelings are rooted in your values and experiences, or if they truly reflect what's best for them in this moment. In this moment of introspection, you may find that the best way to support them is simply by being there, offering quiet love that allows them the space to be their authentic selves. Our loved ones are on their journeys, paths that will shape them in ways we may never fully understand. By choosing acceptance over critique, we grant them the freedom to grow, to make mistakes, and to discover their strengths without the weight of our expectations. This choice to honor their individuality, to celebrate their dreams and ambitions without interference, is a profound act of love that builds a resilient family bond over time. This bond becomes a source of strength and unity, a testament to the power of unconditional love. Family members are more likely to turn to us, to confide in us, and to share their lives openly when they feel accepted rather than judged. This openness creates a foundation of trust that stands the test of time, ensuring that family remains a place of comfort, security, and unwavering support. Ultimately, the legacy we leave behind in our families isn't one of words or opinions, but of the love we give freely, the acceptance we offer, and the support that remains steady even in silence. By choosing to let go of minor disappointments or personal judgments, we allow our relationships to flourish, based on acceptance, respect, and understanding. This choice creates a lasting sense of security, allowing our loved ones to pursue their paths with confidence, knowing they are supported. Through this approach, we create an unbreakable family bond, one that will be remembered and cherished for generations. Secret 5 Future Plans. When it comes to the assets and inheritance we've built over a lifetime, there's an almost irresistible urge to share the details with our loved ones. It feels natural, even responsible, to reassure them that we've made plans to secure their future. We want them to know that all our years of hard work have a purpose that extends to them. Yet, while this instinct is heartfelt, it can have an unintended impact. Early conversations about wealth distribution can lead to misunderstandings or even foster subtle, unintended rivalries. By choosing to keep our asset plans private until the time is truly right, we preserve family harmony and ensure that our relationships remain centered on connection, love, and shared experiences, rather than material matters. Mr. Robert's story offers a valuable lesson in the delicate balance between love, security, and the complexities of inheritance. After retiring from a long and successful career in banking, Mr. Robert had carefully crafted a modest estate, knowing that he wanted to provide a sense of comfort and security for his two sons after he was gone. In his mind, sharing these plans early was an act of love, a gesture meant to give his sons peace of mind. He envisioned that his openness would bring the family closer, assuring them that he had thoughtfully prepared for their futures. So, during a family gathering, Mr. Robert revealed his plans, explaining how he intended to divide his assets and laying out his vision for the family's financial security. At first, the response seemed positive. His sons listened intently, nodding along as he spoke and even expressing gratitude for his transparency. But as time went on, Mr. Robert noticed a shift in their behavior. His sons began to ask more questions about his investments, subtly suggesting ways they thought the estate could be redirected. Soon the inquiries became more frequent, almost as if his private plans had become an open topic for discussion and debate. It was subtle, but Mr. Robert sensed a tension building, one that hadn't been there before.